Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here. Hope you're well. Today we are going to be working on some shapes and we're going to learn about how to create some shapes, colour some shapes, and also do some things called fill and stroke. So we're going to try and create a simple scene with some shapes and combining them together by using the group tool. And if you look around my screen, you can see that my hand is here. So when I'm referring to what I'm doing on the screen and what letters and keys I'm going to be pressing, mostly with the control in my corner and my shift. And I've got some simple things, so you can see my hands ready in the WASD like I'm playing some computer games. But we've got basic selection, which is S, so you'll see me tapping the S every now and again. And we've got some rectangles, which is basically R for rectangle. And if you look closely, you can see that on my screen, when I hover my mouse over these tools on the left hand side, I am going to be making some of these shapes. So I'm going to start off nice and gently just by making some shapes, and also with my mouse I am going to be using my mouse wheel here, and when I click in my mouse wheel I can pick up my entire canvas like this. So I'm clicking it in, and when I click it you'll see that my cursor changes into a crosshair, and that means I can move things around. If I use my mouse wheel I can move up and down, and if I use my control, you can see I'm going to tap my control now, and I'm going to go and just move in and out like that. And then if I hold down shift, you can see I'm holding down shift here, I move from side to side. Okay, so I tend to use this quite a lot in Inkscape, and it's pretty handy. It's more handy than most of the document styles. So I've got some windows open here. I'm going to close that because we're not going to be interested in this just yet. So simply we're going to go and grab some rectangles and go and hit an R. Now when I hit R, you'll see that my cursor has a blue rectangle on it, and this means that this is my default. So yours may be the same, but when I draw my rectangle, you can see also I've got this kind of squircle effect going on here, and that's because it's kept the same settings as when I was drawing something before. When I make a shape, you'll see that it has some shapes around the outside. This allows you to change the size. And also with this one, you can see that I can change the curvature of the edges as well. So this one here has got a square. This one allows me to resize this, and you can see that it's kind of smoothly moves around. But if I hold down control, it will allow me to have some snap effects like this. You can see that it's just got this snap effect. So that's when I'm drawing my rectangle. So I'm going to go and get that back to normal. If I want to resize this rectangle, then I also want to change the colours of it too to match my big tower here. What I'm going to do is go to my selection over here and hit S on my keyboard, and you can see that immediately the shapes around the outside have turned to arrows. What this means is that I am now able to resize this however I want. However, it's too fluid, really. I need to bring that down, so I'm going to go and hold down shift control again, and that allows me to keep the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio just means that if I grab it from the corner, the percentage of the top is always the same as the percentages on the sides, like that. If I let go, it changes like this. What I can do again is if I click again into my shape using my selection tool, I can now rotate it and do a thing called skew. So I grab the corner like that, you can see that it's highlighted, and I can now rotate that. And again, I can do the same thing, and I can snap using my control. You can see that my hand is down here using the control, and that snaps to the side as well. Skew. This allows me to create this stretchy effect to form a rhombus. So here, what I'm going to do now is just bring that back to the beginning, because what we really should be doing is looking at the menus at the top here. So here I've got a lock. This allows me to lock the aspect ratio. So the sizes here will be set according to the percentages of each one. So if I lock that now, I click and I drag that, you can see that it's always set. I'm not holding down control or anything like that. So what I want to do now is I want to create this tower. So I'm going to go and create this tower very simply like that. I'm going to turn off this lock, and then I'm going to go and drag it and match it to the size like that and turn my lock back on. So there's my tower. Now I don't have to have it blue. I'd rather have it this kind of mustardy yellow. Down the bottom I've got all my colours, and these are my fill and stroke effects for my shapes, and these are going to be very important when you come to do your portraits, because the lines that we're going to draw with the Bezier curves will need different effects depending on what you want to do. If you've got hair, you want to change the shape, the shades of your hair, eyes, irises, that kind of thing. So down the bottom, it's a huge swatch of colours that I've got here, and so I've got this yellowish, greenish effects down here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to choose that. When I click on that, I'm going to choose it actually. Let's keep it green so we can see the difference. So when I click on that, you'll notice as well that it doesn't have any colours around the outside. So if I hold down Shift, it says stroke in the corner. It says my fill is this colour and my stroke is unset at the moment. And normally the unset is for your defaults, but we'll go and change it into something brighter so you should be able to see it like that. And you can see that there is a shape around there. There is the stroke around the outside has been set to blue. So I've just clicked on that because this will show you later some more controls that we are going to be using in this window. I've got my fill, my stroke, and my stroke style. Your stroke style will become very important later on as well. We're not going to get into that just yet because we need that for the lines. But the stroke here is in a solid colour, a flat colour. And these are RGB, this stands for red, green, blue. And these are web colours, so these are colours that go onto your screen. So when you see your screen, if you look very, very, very closely, you'll see that it's mixed up of red, green, blue. They're little pixels that are on your screens. And you will also have off and on. Total on is white, so when you've got a big white screen, it's all on. Off for modern screens is black. And then each shade is a value of either zip between 0 and 255. And they become these crazy numbers and letters here, which are called hex values. So that's what the internet's made of. So these are internet colours. So I'm going to go and change this now. I'm going to go and hold down Shift, and I'm going to go and match that. So I'm going to click it here and click it both, and you can see that this square in the corner has now become a solid mass, and that's going to match that colour there. You can cheat if you want to cheat. I don't mind you cheating. You can go and use the eye colour, and you can go and choose that colour like that. That's perfectly fine. And so we can go and turn our fill, our stroke off. This is pretty neat. So you can go and turn your colours off like so. And if you hold down Shift and click that, it'll take the stroke completely off, and you'll notice that the stroke is now off in this window. It's quite handy. There's a little X in the corner, and you can close that away. So that's a good way to cheat. You can have any colour you want for these. I really don't mind. So we're going to go and make some shapes now, and using what I've just shown you. So you've got a simple shape here. So I'm going to go and grab my shape. You can see that it's gone straight into my default value of blue. It's annoying for me. However, yours should hopefully keep the same values as before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and make a window. So I need a 0 fill and a white stroke. So I'm going to go and get here. You can see that as I move my mouse across the bottom, you can see that also it tells you what colour it is. I've got maroon, red, and you can see that those hex values are next to it, which are those 255, 0 to 255 values, including some letters as well. And they tell us what RGB values they are on the internet. So that's gone into white, and I've just clicked that and filled it. But really what I need to do is have a white fill, a white stroke, sorry, and an open and clear fill, like that. I go and grab my... Now this is where it becomes annoying because it is a white on white. And grab that. Now when I try to grab it now, you'll notice that when I can't grab the center of it because there's nothing there. I have to go and grab it from the side here because I've only got a stroke around the outside of this shape, and it'll tell me where the thing that the hook that I can pick it up with that crosshair. You can see that it changes slightly. So I'm going to go and bring that into my shape here. My shapes are locked, so I need to unlock this and bring it into a square, like so. See if that's relatively, yes, that's relatively simple. So then what I'll have to do then is go and make 4 squares and dot them inside there. I'm going to go and do an ellipse here. So you could go and put your shape underneath, and you can see it's got the same value as before, as what I had before. And what I really want to do is use these shapes, use these tools at the top here to change my shape. And what I can do is, using that trick that we did before, where we can click on it and click on it and click on it. So when I double click in here, you can see I've got these circles and squares. This circle here will now allow me to create a sort of Pac-Man face. And I can go and snap this round to this side. So if I hold down Control now, like I did before, I can go and create this shape. Now it is upside down, but that's fine. So I go and use my selection tool and I bring it up like that. I can just move it around, and then I can go and just bring this over to that to be matching this one. You probably hear those dogs outside. They'll probably be in every single video. They like the limelight. Okay, now I can keep it red if I want, and I can go and use my colour picker if I want to use my colour picker, like so, and cheat that way if I want to cheat. Triangles. Triangles are here. So they're in your star. So if I go and draw a star like this, it's got 5 points. What I want is a 3-point shape. If I look at the top here, I can bring my points, my corners down, so I can bring this down to a 3, and then I can use my, if I use Control, it'll snap it, and then resize this, and then again I can go and cheat and match the colours like that. This is obviously circles or ellipses. And I'm going to go and cheat again while it's selected. Done. And then these are simple straight lines. So you could just get a box if you want and draw that into a box and match this. It's entirely up to you how you do that. And then I would imagine that this tree would need a trunk of some kind. So using those skills in here with just the shapes and the selection tool, remembering that you can change the colours by using your shift and your control to move things around. Go and practice and create this farm. As always, Year 6, good luck.